In this video, I'm going to show you how to build this automation that allows you to back up your TikTok videos with the captions, a bunch of metrics about the video, and build a second automation that's going to pull from that backup and publish on LinkedIn, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts based on a schedule that you define. This is a great way if you have been posting on TikTok for a while and you have built a content library and you want to start dripping them into all the other social media platforms without you doing anything manually. This is all going to happen on a daily basis based on the schedule that you define, and it's going to post them into LinkedIn, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. But before we get into it, my name is Kevin, and my SKOOL community and my YouTube channel, we are about three things. We are about not doing the boring and repetitive tasks, but also saving time using automations and AI. And lastly, we are about making it easy and simple so you don't have to worry about tech, because in my community, I'm the software engineer with 15 years of experience, so you don't have to be one. Now, this automation is going to be pretty straightforward, as I'm going to show you exactly step by step how to build it. But if you want to fast track the process, you can find inside my community the one-click import blueprint with many others that I've built so far. Now let's get back into building this automation. So we're going to start with creating the Airtable database. This is the place where we're going to store all the videos that we download with the first automation. And then that's the one we're going to pull to extract the video that we want to republish on the other platforms. So Airtable is kind of, for those who don't know, it's kind of a spreadsheet on steroid. It's a bit better. It presents the data a bit in an easier way. So you could do a spreadsheet, but I highly recommend using Airtable because, I mean, why not have something a bit nicer to look at? So this is the database with all the fields, as you can see right here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to recreate it manually so you can follow along and create your own version. So I'm going to create a fresh database. I'm going to build it from scratch, and I'm going to just switch the colors to TikTok. I mean, kind of TikTok colors, just so it looks nice. I'm going to rename the database to TikTok videos, and I'm going to put demo. All right, you can rename the table right here as well. And now we are good to go. So let's edit that field, the first one, that's by default. Let's name it ID, leaving it a single line text. Then we're gonna just rename this one and use it for the captions. It's a long text. Then we can delete this one. We can delete this one. And now we're gonna start adding, we're gonna say video created time. We're gonna do date. We're gonna include time. I like to include the time zone and create field. Next one is the duration of the video. And it's gonna be the type is a duration. It can stay with the default format. Then I'm storing the cover URL, and it's a URL, create field. Then it's the download URL, which is going to store the URL to download the video if we want to go back to it, just in case, from Appify. It's a URL as well. It's just, why not store it? Because now we're going to store the video itself. I'm going to name it video, and it's going to be an attachment. That's where the file, like the actual video MP4, is going to be stored. Next, we're going to store the cover. Same, we have the URL, but I like to store the file as well in that case, because that works. Attachment, create field. Okay, so where are we at? Now there's also some extra information that we can store. They don't have any use for this particular video and the repurposer, but why not store some of your analytics from those TikTok videos, and you can analyze them at the same time and see what's performing better. You can sort them, see all your videos that are performing better, just for insight. So I'm gonna just add those metrics. Once we grab them or scrape them with Appify, we can just store them and then we can use them later. The dig count, it's gonna be a number, and the decimal place, it's gonna be 0, and create field. And now we can just duplicate this field. So we have the configuration, but we can just rename the field because they have the same configuration for share count. Save, duplicate again. This time it's the play count. Duplicate again. Edit. The comment count. Save. And duplicate again. And another one that we have access to is the collect count. All right, then we're gonna add a checkbox to decide if it's, not to decide, but to know if it's pinned. If the post is pinned, we can store that information right here. Then we're gonna duplicate because we have another one, which is if it is posted. So this field is posted. Don't put a space in the name for this one. Let's keep it consistent and do the same for this. Is pinned. We're gonna use is posted to know if we've posted it or not yet. So every time we're gonna post a video onto the other, we're gonna update that checkbox with a check mark so we don't do it again and repost the same all over again. So that's what this one is important for the process and the flow. Now another one is gonna be publish date. We're gonna use a date. It's local, include time, display time zone, create field. We're gonna, at the same time when we store that we've posted the video, we're gonna store the timestamp so we know when we did the automation posted it for us. And forgot one, which is the backup time, and it's the date as well. Same thing, include time zone, display time zone, create the field. I'm gonna move this one just here. We're gonna store when we scrape the information from Appify, we're gonna store when this was backed up, just in case, so we can remember and track, because sometimes later on we might need it. So, and that's it. That's our database with all the fields. We are ready to go now and move on to the first automation that's gonna scrape the information, all your TikTok video, and store them into this database. But before we start creating and set up Appify, before we start creating the automation, we're gonna configure Appify. So for those who don't know what Appify is a scraper platform where you can build, deploy, and use scrapers. There's a big marketplace of scrapers that are already built, and we are gonna use one that's called the TikTok data extractor. That's this one. And we're gonna configure right here that scraper so it can get the data from our account, and then we can start using them. So I'm going to put a link down below the descriptions to Appify and also to that particular TikTok data extractor. And now let's jump into the configuration. So when you set it up, you're going to configure it manually right here, and then we're going to grab the JSON file, and we're going to put it inside make, so the configuration is living there to configure the scraper. So first thing we're going to do is the number of video per hashtag profile or search. This is limiting how many videos you want to scrape. So just for this example, I'm putting 10 because I don't want it to spend to be too long to scrape. But feel free to put way more, or I think if you put nothing, it's going to scrape everything. Yeah, it's optional, so don't put anything if you want to scrape all your videos. The profile, this is where you're going to add a username. This is my username, my TikTok handle without the @ So that's for my account. You can add more if you want to scrape some other accounts, but I recommend, the purpose of this tool is to repurpose your own videos. So just configure your own username right here. I've added this particular one, which is a specific date because my TikTok account had some other videos before that I don't want to get into my systems and automations. So that's why there's a date right here. It's optional, don't put anything if that doesn't apply to you. This we don't need. You can exclude the pin post right here. In the search, we don't put anything. The video URLs, we don't need to put anything. And now download TikTok. This is where you're gonna toggle on all of these, like include videos, because we want the scraper to download the video because we want to grab it and store it afterwards. So make sure to turn those on, all of those, and also you can name if you want the storage of the video, so you can find it here in the storages. And then you save it, and now you're gonna come to JSON, and you're gonna copy this JSON and keep it. So now we're gonna configure make.com. So now that we are back in the make.com scenario, we're gonna search for Appify. We're gonna run an actor. You're gonna establish a connection if you haven't done so yet. You're gonna establish a connection first if you haven't done it already. Then you're gonna select the actor, Clockworks free TikTok scraper. That's the one that should pop up for you. You're gonna select this one. We're gonna run it synchronously. We're gonna say yes, just because we want the next step to wait for this one to finish to proceed. Now, this is where the input JSON, the one we have in our clipboard that we have copied, we're gonna paste it right here. And then you can leave everything the way it is. And then you click OK. And now we have our actor that is ready to run. The next step we're gonna do is we're gonna get those data that have been scraped. So it's another Appify step, and we're gonna go with get dataset items. Same thing, we're gonna look into the dataset ID, and we're gonna go and select default dataset ID right here. And we're gonna leave the data transformation as clean, format JSON, and the limit. This is where you might wanna change that depending on how many videos you are scraping. For me, that doesn't apply because I'm just scraping 10 in that example, so I don't need to change that. So make sure to adjust that limit. Click OK. And the third step is going to be to write those data inside that Airtable database. So I'm going to use Airtable as a step, and I'm going to say, I'm going to do create a record. So now I'm going to select the TikTok video database. I'm going to select the TikTok videos table. So the ID is going to be this ID. Oh, actually not. So as you can see, we don't have the information yet of the dataset item. So what we need to do is to run the actor first. So I recommend to make an adjustment before you do so. So let's come back to. So now that we've added the dataset item, what we're going to do is we're going to run the actor to test that it runs. So if you have configured it to scrape all your TikTok right away, I would recommend to change that and adjust the result per page and do a test first with just one, for instance. Let's do two. This is the results per page. That's this one in the JSON, but if you're not sure, just go back to the configuration and make a change right here to 2. All right, you make a change to 2 right here. You come into the JSON, you copy this, and you put it back here. For now, just for that test. Then you can go back, readjust to what you want, and copy back right here. So I'm gonna click OK, and let's run the test. And done. So now we can look right here and see the bundle, that there's 2 bundle, meaning this is our 2 videos that the scraper scraped. So now we have all the details. As you can see, this is the text, this is when it was created, the video, and we have the link to view it. I mean, that's the link to my channel, but if we go to video metadata, we have all the information, such as the URL and where to download it. So now we can move on and create the next step. We do that test because it gets the data in, so then when we want to create the record, so we use Airtable, we do the create a record step. If you haven't connected Airtable, same thing, you add a connection right here, you follow the step, you just log in, and it's going to establish the connection in the background, and you're good to go. Then you select the database that we just created, which is going to be for me the TikTok video demo. Now the table, we're going to load it. It's going to be TikTok video. Okay, I'm going to do TikTok video. That's my other one. And now we can set all the information to be written inside that table. So we're going to start with the ID right here. So make sure to use the Appify number 2, the get dataset item step. And so this is the ID of the video. Now for the captions, it's called the text. When the video was created, we're going to use not the create time, the create time ISO. We don't need any information about the author because that's all our information and there's no need for that in this example. Then we're going to find the duration, which is somewhere in the video meta. If you go and open the video meta, you do duration. The cover URL is under video meta as well, cover URL. Then the download URL, we're going to do the download address. So these are all Appify address from the dataset. We want to use these ones because the TikTok ones are not going to work later. Now for the video, we're going to use the file URL. We're going to use the same URL that we just used, the download address under video meta, because this time it's going to download the file itself and store it inside Airtable. And for the file name, we're going to use just, I'm going to use the ID and do a dot, and I'm going to use the format right here. Okay. And we don't need to add another item, that's just one video. Then we're going to do the same thing for the cover. We're going to use the cover URL. Make sure to use the cover URL, not the original cover URL. For the file name, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use the ID, but this time we're going to put .jpeg. And now we're going to use the dig count, which is right here. The share count is right here. The play count is right here. Comment count, collect count. And we're going to switch the is pinned to map. And we're going to just set is pinned right here. Okay. And that's it. And we're going to click OK. Now, one thing we're going to do is we're going to filter because you might have posted or published slideshows on your TikTok account, and we don't want those to be included because this is meant only for videos and reposting videos. So we're going to filter on a condition that is if this particular field, if it is a slideshow, and we're going to say if it's not equal to 1, this is going to filter out anything that's a slideshow. So in case you publish slideshow, they're going to just be skipped and not created inside the Airtable. We click OK. We can save now. I'm going to rename this as TikTok video backup, and that's the demo one. All right. Now I'm going to auto align, and what I'll do is run the automation and make sure that it creates all the record inside the Airtable, and we're going to do that together. Okay, so on the right side of my screen, this is going to be the Airtable that should be populated with all the information. And on the left side, this is the automation that I'm going to run manually right now. So let's get going. And as you remember, I did have a filter on only 2. I mean, not a filter, but just a limit on just the 2 first ones. So as you can see, they've been created. And so if we look back, we can see that we have the ID. We have now the caption itself of what was written, including the hashtags that I'm putting at the end. When this was posted on TikTok, so October 30th, the duration of the video, the link to the cover URL, the link to the download of the video. And if I open this file, I have the video, and it's not playing right away, but if I do, and
everything in there, such as hashtag.
All right. And the cover URL has been downloaded as well. And we have all the information like the dig count, the share count, and all of this. All right, so that works. So now if you've done the test with only 2, like I said, you can just go back to this and make the change right here. You make the adjustment. You can remove everything if you want to store everything. Then you get the JSON, copy it, come to the configuration of this and replace the JSON right here without that limit of only 2. That's all for the backup. So that's the first scenario that we've created where it gets all the data from your TikTok account into Airtable, and everything is going to be stored and ready for the next one, which is the scheduler and publisher that's going to just come and based on the schedule that you define, it's going to pick them one by one and start posting them, publishing them on all the other social media. So let's start with a brand new scenario for that second one. We're going to name this one the TikTok video publisher. And the first step, what we're going to do is we're going to search into that Airtable database that we just filled with all our TikTok videos. So we're going to click on Airtable, but we're not going to watch for records. We're going to search records. That's important to select this one. You're going to select your connection as usual, select the same database. So in my case, it's the TikTok videos. We're going to select the table, which is the first one. And now we don't need to change anything here. We can select all the fields. We want to grab all the fields, although we don't need to, but that's okay. And we're going to add a formula right here to pick them up one by one. And the way we do that, so first the formula. The formula, we're going to exclude everything that has already been published by this automation. The way we do that is we're going to do not. We're going to open the brackets. Now inside the brackets, we're going to open the curly bracket and write is posted, which is our field from right here. If we scroll all the way to the right, this one is posted. So there's, make sure to, it's case sensitive. So I put a uppercase I, uppercase P. So I'm going to use this one. So meaning that we're going to take that search is going to grab everything that is not marked as posted. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to add a limit. So each time this scenario runs, we're going to take only one. So we're going to put the limit as 1. Now we can click OK. And what it's going to do is now we can do a test. So if you right click on the step, you do run this module only. It's going to grab one, the first one, because none of them is actually checked to be posted. Checked as posted. So you see just one bundle. All right, now let's move on to the next step. We are going to download the video. We're going to use the HTTP step. We're going to do get a file, and we're going to use the URL as, if we go to the video, we can grab that particular URL under the video and click OK. Now, the next step, we're going to add a flow control router. And the reason for that is now we want to start posting on all platforms. So we're going to start with LinkedIn as the first one. If we do show more, we're going to create a user video post. By default, well, you will have to do the connection if you haven't done that yet. Just follow the step when you click on add. By default, it's going to use the file that's been downloaded, which is our video, which is perfect. Then we're going to add a title. Then we're going to add a content. We don't need to put the title because it's optional, so I'm not going to do that. For the content, I'm going to use the captions that was from my TikTok. I don't want to read you any of that. I'm going to leave the visibility to public, and it's going to be distributed in the main feed, and I'm okay with resharing. So clicking OK. Now we've set up, it's going to go out on LinkedIn. Then the next step is going to be Instagram. Instagram for business, because we can only publish 2 pages. And we're going to do create a reel post. Same thing, you're going to have to connect, if you haven't done so, select the page you want to post on. And this time, we're not going to use the video file itself. We're going to use the video URL because Instagram is downloading from a URL. So the way we do that is in Airtable, we're going to select under video, we're going to use the URL right here. That's it. And for the captions, you guessed it, we're going to use the captions from Airtable right here. And then we can leave everything like this. You can decide if you want to share it to the feed or not, because it's a reel. Decide not to. I'm going to click OK. Let me realign. Now the third one is going to be YouTube. So, because we want to publish shorts, I'm going to YouTube upload a video. Same thing, you have to connect to YouTube. If you haven't done so, just follow the steps. For the title, For the title, there's a limit to 100 characters. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the captions, but I'm gonna take only the first 99 characters, just to be safe. Captions like this. And that's it. I'm gonna just take, because typically when I write my captions on TikTok, I start the first part and it's less than 99 characters. I start with like a punchy headline, kind of a title for the video with what it is about. So that works perfectly for this. And also, I mean, we're talking about YouTube Shorts. The title, I don't think that's the most important thing that you can post on a YouTube Short. Now the video, by default, same thing. The file is selected, so we'll leave it like this. And for the video category, just select yours. Privacy status, this is where you decide if you want it to be public right away. That's what I'm gonna do. You can add a description. You can reuse the caption if you want. It's not mandatory. You don't have to put one. I'm not gonna put one. Is this made for kids? I use no. And then you click OK. We have to, for some reason, it shows this red when we click OK the first time. We just have to reopen it and click OK a second time. And now it's configured properly. Now, one thing with YouTube, as you know, YouTube Short is limited to, it used to be limited to just 1 minute. Now they've increased it to 180 seconds or 3 minutes. So just in case your TikToks are longer than that, you don't want to post them on YouTube because they are not going to look nice. They're going to appear in the main horizontal feed. So what I do is I add a filter right here. You click on the link, and on that filter, we're going to filter on the duration. And then we're going to scroll down and find the numeric operator, and it has to be less than 180 seconds. And then we click OK. So it's going to filter everything that's longer than that and not post it on YouTube. And now we're going to add a last one, which is not publishing on social media, but this one is going to be, so let's move this here. But this one is going to be to update the Airtable with just telling that row that this has been posted. So now we're going to update a record. We're going to select the same database, which is the TikTok video for me. It's going to load. We're going to select the table. And for the record ID, we're going to use the record ID from here. Don't use the, make sure to use this ID that starts with rec in the data. And now you can scroll all the way. You don't touch, you don't add anything there, except for the is posted, we're going to say yes, because we're going to update that row that we've posted it. And we're going to add the date. And for that, we're just going to add, if you go into the calendars, we're going to do now. And we're going to click OK. And now we're going to save and realign. And this is our automation ready to post the first one on the list onto all the social media platform that we just connected. So this is my TikTok account. This is the video that we're going to repost most likely. And as you can see on LinkedIn, it's not that one. It's actually that one that already posted, but I'm going to repost it. Same thing on Instagram. This is the one. It's going to be reposted because it's taking the latest from TikTok. And on YouTube, it's not posted. So let's go and run. It's posting on LinkedIn right now. It's posting on Instagram for the Reels. It takes a bit longer because it's downloading the video again and posting there instead of just taking the file and uploading. Now it's posting on YouTube, and it updated the row inside Airtable. So if I refresh my LinkedIn, if I go to my videos, you see there's one more that has been posted. That's right here. Going to Instagram. This is the one. And going to YouTube, I'm filtering on the shorts. Okay, so on YouTube, it just takes a bit of time to appear in the short feed. I think they're just reviewing the video, but I just refreshed and it did appear. That's the one. Now let's go back to the Airtable and see that the video has been processed and it's marked as posted, and we have the date right now that it's just been posted on social media. So now let's make sure that the second time this one runs, we're gonna run just this step, and I'm gonna click on run this module. We're gonna see that there's only one bundle, right? So it got just one, and as you can see, that's the one right here that says unlock TikTok secrets. Yes, caption starts with unlock TikTok secrets. It's a 77-second video, so that's the one. So I didn't take this one. That's what this filter is doing, and it's taking only one. So by default, the sort, you can adjust the sort if you want to take the most recent ones by changing this and sorting on the video created time, and then the direction being ascending on descending, if that's something you want to change. But by doing this, I'm taking the old ones first, posting those ones, and making my way up to the most recent one. So the last thing we need to do is now we can schedule it. So we use this to turn it on at a regular interval, or you can define every day at a certain time, meaning that it's going to post one of your backed up TikTok videos at a certain time every day. So you post once a day from that backup, or you can schedule multiple times a day if you'd like. Just adjust when you want to run it and start publishing those previous TikTok videos to those platforms. So again, if you want to get access to all the templates you saw today and join a community where you can get all your tech questions answered, or you can jump into calls and talk to me on a daily basis, then jump into the Offered Free Time community. There is a course about make.com and how to get started, and a bunch of other cool templates like the ones you saw in the video today. Hopefully you liked this video, and I hope to see you inside one of my communities. And in the meantime, I'll see you in the next video.